Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Newbee's turn to ban.
Honestly, I mean, my brain's telling me Newbee, but I think that NP have a lot of potential, and they haven't really been together in this iteration for very long. So we'll see how they develop as a team, like throughout the best of 5, because that's the important thing too, right? It's not just 3 games, it's 5, correct? So
right,
if it's 5 games, then you have time to adapt, and I think that they have a lot of really good Dota minds on their team as well. So I think that even if they're down a game or two, which I could foresee happening against Newbee, I think there's a good chance for them to at least stretch the series.
Yeah, fair enough. Both pretty evenly matched teams, we would hope, going into this series. And it really comes down to the draft. Yesterday, we saw NP run a variety of strats, of course, one including, I should say, that drought strat that they pulled out in the first game of the series they played against.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mott. They certainly did. They went 2-0 or nil for all the Euros out there.
An American saying. You thought?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Hui.
Reserve time.
Disruptor.
Okay.
Slada.
Dire team.
Who, NP? Well, to be fair, both of them have gotten their fair share of second places over the course of their lives. Well, but this is where it could occur again. I mean, how bad is it if NP gets second here? I know it's their first major grand finals with this squad. They have a different offlaner, one of the best offlaners in the game, I would argue. One that can take over the game. But how bad is it if Anime here does get second place yet again?
I think it's a loaded question, all right? Because no team goes into a tournament to only get second. No team goes into a tournament to say, man, we just want to get top 3. That's like a team who is not ambitious. And I know for a fact that, players like Envy and Pi, like all of them, I'm sure, they definitely want to win. I don't know if on paper I think they're just better than Newbee, but they definitely play a lot of strategies that we don't see a whole lot of. Yeah. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I saw somebody play Drow. That was something that they pulled out, and people can be unprepared for that kind of stuff. So when I say that they have a great mind for Dota, it's they understand the intricacies of drafts, I think, better than probably most teams, and they are filled with theory crafters.
Very true.
They can do some crazy shit that you just haven't seen before, and maybe it'll catch Newbee off guard. But other than that, I think that still, all that aside, I think that Newbee, they might make him be the second place Kings again.
We'll see. That's the big question, right? And going back to what you were talking about, the great minds of Dota that NP have, to go into that first game after IGV have been crushing it with Tide and Death Prophet for the past 2 days, and to take that hero down pretty cleanly with an Ancient Apparition, just essentially him alone, was a pretty spectacular thing to watch. So it's kind of, they know these strats, they know how to counter these strats, they can run them in multiple different ways, they have such flexibility with AUI 2000. But I guess we should talk about the draft, guys, because, it's underway, and here we are.
Yep, Juggernaut and Bristleback, the third band's going to be coming out. Bristleback, we've seen NP prioritize a whole bunch. Pairs very nicely with the Crystal Maiden. We talked about Soul Ring plus that talent that he has already. Kind of puts him in a good spot in terms of mana regen. So CM on top of that makes it super
Dire
easy.
team ban.
Another team fighter banned out. Dark's here.
I don't know. It depends on how.
I think they're one of the top 3 teams, though, for sure. If we're talking just players, how they draft, they're always super solid. So I mean, King is second place ain't the worst, but as a Dota player, you always want to win. I think the opening from Newbee though is super nice. You play against a team that you know for a fact loves to split up. NP don't 5-man Dota. I very rarely see them as 5 heroes on one part of the map. So what's the best heroes in the entire world to punish positioning or make you feel like you're safe when you're not? and that's Disruptor and Slardar. Like that, those are probably two of the best punish positioning heroes in the
10
game,
seconds
period, just due to
remaining.
Slardar's mobility, obviously Blink Carrier, and Glimpse. So the
5
synergy of also
seconds
having
remaining.
Corrosive Haze for vision and Glimpse on top of that makes it even worse. So I
Mhm.
think that NewBee has some kind of method for
Reserve
dealing with
time.
how the way that MP like to play the game, and the type of offlaners too that MSS gets. Like he plays Nature's Prophet, he plays Puck, he plays these heroes that are elusive. So these two are just like, go ahead, pick your Puck, pick your NP, we'll just kill it like a million times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something you were discussing actually, and I thought was a very good point in game one when they had that drow strat. You said, you know, usually when you pick a drow strat, your first inclination is to 5-man down towers, especially like those tier 2 towers, and just try to force as much pushing as possible. But what you mentioned was that MP were more prone to splitting up, farming, having 2 or 3 heroes pushing towers, and still taking those towers, while other heroes are farming
Dire
across the
team
map and being
pick.
more split up. So you're absolutely right about the Slaughter Disruptor pickup here for NewBee, and they will go for the Shadow Fiend as well for their 3rd overall pick.
I like it.
Yeah, it's true actually. It's pretty crazy.
It's
On
a tower
heroes that-
hitter.
Seconds
It's very,
remaining.
very stable pick in the Shadow Fiend as well.
But heroes
5
that also
seconds
have
remaining.
pretty low armor already, so something else to consider. Like one of these games where it's like Vlad's looks like it'll be a pretty
Reserve
core
time.
item.
Yeah.
This is the type of lineup where NewBee can run away with the game very quickly. So we talked about minus armor, right? The obvious implications of that: killing Roshan, getting tier 1s really quickly, all things NewBee can do with just having a Shadow Fiend and a Slardar. So I think that they're really going to try to push the tempo. Like Disruptor is not the greatest roaming hero in the entire world, but Slardar is a pretty good laner. Shadow Fiend is a pretty good laner as well. I don't know if we're going to see another safe lane Ember. Like I know that Envy and Fata both play the hero, but I'm unsure as to where it's going to be, because obviously they're banning out a lot of safe laners, right? Like Jug, Ursa, Bristle, all banned heroes that I assume Envy would play. But at this point, I'm kind of feeling like NP needs some beefy laning heroes. Otherwise, it can be very dangerous for them at this point.
That's fair enough. I will say they did play, I think in this tournament too, Envy did play the safe lane Ember Spirit. I believe they might have won in that game. It was either in this tournament or in Manila. It's been a little while, you know, going through the entire bracket, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them do that again. And we talked about how we don't like it, especially if it's with a tri-lane, like a defensive tri-lane, Ember Spirit kind of thing, leeching that experience away from the Ember Spirit, giving it kind of a rough time. But as
Even
you mentioned...
just the first time we saw it, it was like a tri-lane.
Mhm.
And then the next time it was a dual lane. Still didn't work. And I don't know if it was just like the team that was running it that made it really
Turn to
weird,
pick.
but it just feels bad. Every time I watch it, it just does poorly. Hopefully
Yeah.
not safe lane.
Well, speaking of a beefy laner, well, we'll see where this is going to be laned up. We've seen Clockwork played by MSS, of course, one of his heroes.
10 seconds
And then
remaining.
we've also seen the Clockwork support. However, I don't know if NP have played it. That's the interesting thing.
5
This feels like it
seconds
could be an
remaining.
AUI 2000 or even a Pile I Die hero. The roaming support Clockwork. What do you think about this,
Reserve
Shannon
time.
and Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's very, very good. Because the thing is, you can't commit to a clock. Like you can't see a support Clockwork running around the map and being like, oh, let's go for that kill. Because first off, he has cogs. And then you're going to, if he's level 3, he's got 2 points into battery assault, which still does a tremendous amount of damage. So you can't really just awkwardly walk into him and try to go for a kill. Even if it is support, we don't know yet. It could be MSS, right? We're just kind of assuming at this point. But either role, I think it's good in
That's it.
both, honestly. I think he's really strong as support or as offlane. I mean, clearly,
Dire team
you're going to
pick.
have a little bit more impact as an offlane Clockwork because you're going to potentially get level 6 faster, and that's going to let you push the tempo. But with already having an Ember Spirit on NP and assuming that that hero is mid, you could have your tempo control a lot faster anyway and still put the
10
Clockwork on
seconds
support. So
remaining.
we'll see. Both good, though.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds
I know,
remaining.
we don't really see too many safe lane
I think
I think
slaughters anymore.
The only time position 1 Slardar is quote unquote common is if you're going to do an
Newbees
aggro
turn to
try.
ban.
You know,
Mhm.
that's like a situation where it can work, or you put him like solo safe lane and then you have a tri lane that can work if it's a good matchup. But now Lena, the response out of NP from the mid lane, most likely.
All right.
10 seconds remaining.
So
5 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't mind.
Reserve time.
I wouldn't mind Lifestealer against this lineup because you have a way to get in. You technically have 2 ways to get in, and you have a good amount of lockdown already. And plus, nothing on NP deals with Lifestealer. They have almost entirely magical damage at this point.
all right, well, last couple bands coming out. It is the MSS Furion taken away by NewBee. They don't want to have to deal with that global presence. Just kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I've seen the kind of power out of that hero.
It's very strong. And then NP will have a last ban as well. And as you mentioned, assuming this is a slaughter off lane, what's going to be the one ban
10
from NP? That's what we're
remaining.
looking for right now, anyway.
I still think LS
5
is really
seconds
nice.
remaining.
What else is there? They could go for some more late game security. Oh wow, Banaga ban?
Dire
Okay.
team
Yeah, I
pick.
guess they're thinking along the same lines, just going for the late game hero. So it's going to be a support clock
Newbee's
from
turn to
NP.
pick.
And they did
Yeah.
ban the Nature's Prophet, so they were kind of assuming the same thing. But we'll see what NewBee do here. Lifesteal are a lot worse now, obviously, because of the Enigma. We'll see. Maybe they go like Spectre or something? Seems like a NewBee thing to do.
Is that a little greedy, though, Spectre Shadow Fiend? Or
Yeah, but it's
Seconds
offlane
remaining.
Enigma. The Enigma's never going to come to lane pretty much. He's
True.
just going to farm creeps in the jungle. So you
5
have like these 3
seconds
heroes or 4
remaining.
heroes that can kind of force stuff, and then you have some crazy late game potential. We'll see though. There's a couple of
Reserve
good
time.
options.
Yeah, I'm into it.
You know, I'd kind of like to see a position 1 silencer.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one too, actually. I like it. Okay. Another thing to break the black hole. Yeah, it's another BKB interrupt for the Enigma.
Yeah, we've
That's a
seen
nice
this a
choice
couple
as well.
times. The safe lane Venge we saw from KYXY the other day, too.
Yep, lets you play a high tempo game against the Enigma, who generally is going to fits very nicely, synergizes well with the Shadow Fiend, a lot of minus armor. Now, a ton of catch, right? Like every single one of these heroes on NewBee could start off a fight or interrupt a fight to counter initiate. So that's something that might be difficult for NP, but on the side of NP, a lot of team fight, a lot of control, a lot of AoE damage as well. So curious about your thoughts here, Sunzi. Who's going to take game number 1?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I feel NewBee are playing a bit fast compared to what NP want to do. So yeah, I'm going to go with NewBee as well.
Okay, I'll be the contrarian. I'll believe in NP. This Enigma can live up to the hype. Only time will tell. We've got Drasko here take this series. Game number 1 coming your way. The Grand Cup Masters starts now.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Zyori, and of course, Suns fan. We are into the first game of these grand finals. Been a pretty long tournament, all things considered. Most of these teams, of course. Actually, failure happened. Excited to see how these teams do. Of course, we talked about probably should have been the grand finals between these 2 teams in the Manila Masters. We kind of, I guess, guessed that these 2 teams would be the top 2. Not that it was much of a difficult guess, but here we are, a couple days later at the ZOTAC Cup Masters LAN in Taipei, and it will be, in fact, NP versus NewBee to start things off. So we're going to jump into the game.
Prepare for battle.
All right, let's see how this landing phase sets up. And again, I don't know. I think we talked about the greediness of the core. What was it? The core Spectre for NewBee. Do you think that Venge is not nearly as greedy as that
Oh
Spectre
god,
could have been?
No. Avenge is much more, we're going to push the tempo of the game. Spectre is, we protect our hero, and then we just rely on, later on in the game, Spectre pretty much being unkillable, unless she gets black-holed, which is why I thought that it might be okay. But NewBee don't want to take the game late, they just want to apply pressure, and by having the Venge, you have even more minus armor. You can kill Roshan, like, instantly. As soon as KP hits level 6, you walk in there with a Corrosive Haze and
30
one wave of
seconds to
Terror,
battle.
that thing's just dead.
Yep.
It's going to be extremely hard for NP to get there quickly if, NewBee even go for a sneak. Speaking of, they're going to go for a smoke here. Pretty good level 1 kill potential here on NewBee.
Yeah, they have the Rolling Bolt already. Mugi, of course, will probably go for the Magic Missile. Faith, they're going to head around the other direction, though. Dire Ward does not see them smoke, I believe, and they'll try finding somebody in the enemy jungle. Going back to this Venge, though, as you mentioned, Venge, of course, not going to be the premium right clicker for this squad. It's going to be, of course, the Shadow Fiend that will do the job, and kind of Mugi that sort of accelerates that right click and accentuates that damage as much as possible, getting an early Hurricane Pike potentially. Obviously, the Wave of Terror and Vengeansor will help do that job. We've seen Midas's previously on the Vengeful Spirit. We'll see if that's going to be the case again for Mugi. And here we go. Aggressive trial lane already up at this top lane, and Envy might get caught as Mugi looking for this magic missile. And he's going to go for it. There it is. He started off, the Rolling Boulder will follow up as well, and Envy now going to get caught. The Thunderstrike to follow through. They have the Flame Guard now down. They cannot get the kill, taking a lot of damage. Envy trying to turn back around, but can't do anything with it. And now AUI also needs to be careful. So at the very least, Envy is salving up, and he will stay alive. Another Thunderstrike. Now another Magic Missile. They will have Rolling Boulder available, and Envy's going to get caught yet again underneath this tower. They'll get first blood. It's the Thunderstrike and a couple of auto attacks from Faith. So Envy not really in the safest position, even after avoiding the first part of the gank and salving up. Still will end up falling there.
Yeah, it's just... This is why I'm not really a huge fan of the Ember safe lane. Like, I understand the reasons why you want the hero on your team, but a lot of the time it always feels like his laning phase is just so bad in anywhere other than mid. And the only reason it's good mid is because of how many levels he gets in middle lane too. Highlight Eye was going for some Blackhawk down shit here. He's gonna get spotted out.
He was going in deep. I mean, they really wanted to put some pressure here on SCCC. But I don't know if they necessarily need to, not yet anyways, because Fata is doing extraordinarily well in terms of his laning. Obviously, we would like to shut down the Shadow Fiend whenever, but Fata's having an extraordinarily strong mid lane right now at the start of this game.
9-3 to 3-1. Looks like Lina versus Shadow Fiend to me. It is an extremely hard matchup for Shadow Fiend in the first couple of waves. If you have a good first wave, though, you're just good to go. And once you get level 3, you obviously get the 2 rays, and that'll help you secure some more CS. Plus, you can kill jungle stacks pretty reliably. So, when I say SF is stable, I mean, sure, you can have lane counters, but he's going to get items.
Right. The inevitability is kind of functioning as a hero. But meanwhile, Wave of Terror coming in from Mugi. MB rotating over. Not really getting too much out of the lane. They got that 1 kill, and Envy now just goes back to work in terms of farming. Of course, we already talked about Fata, and then down bottom is going to be Enigma for MSS, getting some denies off of the Eidolons, and then, of course, getting some last hits with them as well. So, kind of interesting to see how these lanes go. They will rotate again. Kaka mid looking for a Rolling Boulder. Be huge to find Fata if they could, but let's see if that's going to be the case.
He's waiting for 2, I think. Oh, no, he's going to go really fast. Okay.
Right now. He does have the Orb of Venom slow, but Fata should be fine. Rays coming out. There's going to be the Fairy Fire. It's not enough. Wow. The snipes from SCC. Thought that was going to be enough for Fata to get out, but that last hit just in range for SCCC. Excellent work there.
I thought if one more melee creep died, he would have got 2, and then he would have had Boulder Smash. I'm surprised he didn't wait, but hey, he knows his limits better than I do, apparently. Gets the kill. Making his way back towards top 2. Will I die?
Rolling Boulder. Along with the Boulder Smash, the Thunderstrike will secure yet another kill for Newbee. So we're really starting to put the pressure on all across this map. And Kaka, again, he's showing what his Earth Spear can do, getting involved in a couple of hero kills, both mid and top, to start things off.
It's that fast tempo that we were kind of talking about during the draft. They just want to make things happen all over the map because A, there's a Crystal Maiden, not notorious for being super strong by herself, kind of just enables other heroes in the laning phase to like spam spells and stuff. But if you're just getting contested heavily like this, there's not really much you can do about it, even with the Clockwork, who's only level 1. That's another thing, too, about Clock support. Only really strong once you get to, like, 2 or 3 when you can get that Battery Assault. They could find Kaka, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, he only has cogs, and Kaka could just...
Alright, never mind.
Low ground. See you later. Bye. Man. Yep. The roaming support Clockwork, not speedy enough, and when he's not in the right position, especially when it's in level 2, as you mentioned, is just... not much you could do, man, I guess. You need that Frostbite first or something.
The one thing that kind of worries me about how this is going so far is, sure, it's only a couple of kills, and in the grand scheme of things, it probably like won't have a huge influence on how the game goes, but this isn't a Bristleback safe lane. He can't go back and kill stacks. So if Envy starts suffering too much in the lanes, his recovery is going to be, you know, having to go to the jungle. But Lina kind of wants to do that too. So are they wanting Envy to be the one who's like creating space on this core? Or are they just going like full in, we're going to just farm and hopefully, you know, MSS gets some black holes off? Because it feels a little bit all over the place to me right now for Envy.
I mean, can Newbee abuse the jungling aspect of NP and start pressuring towers early on into the game here? I mean, they do have a Shadow Fiend, excellent tower pusher himself when he gets some farm. So is that something they can go for?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Shadow Fiend is the siege engine, but I'm talking about more along the lines of what NP can do. Like they are doing okay mid. You know, SCCC is recovered pretty well. He's back up to 27, only an 8 CS lead now for Fata. And that's just the nature of the matchup. Eventually, the Shadow Fiend is going to get farmed. And then you have to have done something elsewhere on the map. Otherwise, you know, your lane counter doesn't really accomplish what you want it to, which is try to keep the Shadow Fiend from getting out of control.
We'll see. Maybe they rotate Fata out and he tries to find a kill at some point in time. But for now, he's going to sit mid. They do rotate AUI 2000 down bottom. MSS will make some more Eidolons. Kaka's in the tree line in the meantime. Also in this bottom lane, KP layering up. Cox to get the push back into Faith, but he throws up the Thunderstrike at the same time. Envy's up to 23 last hit, so about tied with Mugi. All things considered, the biggest problem for MP is they lost a couple of heroes, and again, that Shadow Fiend continues to get farmed, and we'll start putting pressure elsewhere. One boulder mid. Lots of boulder smashed up. They have the range up, and that means that they can't push the skill. LSA is going to connect. Nicely done. Pilot Eye battery cell. Can he get there in time? There's going to be the kill. Double raids is not enough for SCCC. He will be able to back himself away. Pilot Eye will make it out. So a nice little rotation. But here comes the Gloom's back. Pilot Eye maybe into trouble from SCCC or SCCC, excuse me, but he will not be able to get the kill. Even with that race coming in, Pilot Eye actually healed back up a fair bit. So that'll be that. So nice gang from Pilot Eye. Getting Kaka, but it's again just the first kill for MP in this game. Actually, the second.
They got bottom as well, yeah. They committed the black hole. MSS dropped it on the KP Slardar, so big kills, very, very big. Delaying the Slardar's blink, also alleviating a little bit of pressure off the top lane. You can see the supports of Newbee have now rotated across the map. They're no longer just pressuring NB 24/7. He's halfway to 6, so if he wants to, he can start carrying TP, go around with remnants, try to force some fights perhaps. Looks like Newbee aka U9 is just very aggressive. Not scared of the Ember Spirit, only at level 5.
Yeah, gave him the auto attacks. Vengeful Spirit. Level 2 Wave of Terror, level 3 Magic Missile went for phase boots as well. The new common build, I could say, for the core of Vengeful Spirit. That extra movement speed is really good. Let's look at the attack speed talent later on into the game, if you choose to. It's actually level 10, so we'll see if that's going to be the case. The other choice is the magic resistance, and I know you talked about that recently, Andy, and I would imagine
it's also
it's
8%. Like,
yeah, it's not great.
It's so bad. That is got to be one of the worst level 10 talents. I think anyone looks at 8 magic resist, and you could even not have a talent on the other side, and you would just take it out of spite, you know. So I will take the not 8 magic resist. Thank you.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's I imagine he will go for the attack speed, but for now. Looking at bottom, there's a Smoke of Deceit gank. They've already used Black Hole, as you mentioned. Looking for a Malphus here. Comes Dragon Slave. Now trying to find an LSA. The sprint is there. Good boulder smash. That might keep him alive. And Fata looking for the LSA. Will find it. No. Laguna Blade comes out. He gets blown away. It's a Slither Crush along with SCCC coming in. Mugi as well. Magic Missile used. AUI 2000 in trouble. No mana left for Mugi. Still trying to find this kill. AUI 2000's pretty much resigned himself to this death as he gives away the double kill to Mugi. So great rotations from Newbee. They will lose Kaka, but that is it. And again, 2 big heroes going down for MP. Fata, of course, being the biggest.
They just had a lane ward, so they saw the rotation before anyone was in position to go for a kill. So everyone was just there. I think the only person who didn't TP was Faith. Envy going for the Remnant play after the Glimpse, but unfortunately does it a little bit too quick, so he's going to just be sent back to base anyway. But yeah, just good reaction there from Newbee, and having the information beforehand. You can see their vision. It's pretty much... You know, they have a top, they have a bottom, they have a rune ward, so everything is looking okay for them right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They've got some vision, they've got some heroes sitting behind SCCC mid. Pilot Eye is nearby as well. Kaka's going to walk up, but now the wave is pushing into the tower. Meantime, Dire Scan will go. NP are going to go aggressively here. They're trying to fight this Remnant coming through, looking for the steering chains, won't find it. Instead, they will get Kaka. They wanted to bring down the Shadow Fiend, but not able to do so as he pops the Illusion rune, which is a pretty good rune against that type of gank. So he's able to make it out, but they do at least get 1 kill and bring down Kaka.
They were pinging it out beforehand, so they definitely understood. Just like you mentioned, trading the Earth Spirit for a 3-man smoke gank. That was also, I believe, both of NP's cores. I guess you could count MSS as a core as well at this point. Who, by the way, purchased drums. You do not see that very often.
I can't remember who did this, but if somebody picked it up at the Kiev Major, I believe, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's just, it allows you to push these towers down so quickly, kind of make up what you're lacking in some of these heroes. MSS will pop the drum charge, might be in trouble, swap back, Boulder Smash to come through as well. The rolling boulder needs smell from AUI, just snow to come through. Sounds there, coming in from Geomagnetic Grip, and he should fall. One more auto attack in the Wave of Terror will do the job. AUI is able to make it out, but again, the swap sets it up, and they only need 2 other heroes there to get the kill onto that Enigma in the offlane.
Again, just that lane ward is doing a tremendous amount of work. That Newbee just know exactly what they're getting into because they have the information going into it. So maybe eventually it'll get dewarded and get done. For now, it's just giving them a huge advantage. And KP just bullying Envy a little bit here. This is suffering. Being Ember against mass minus armor, not a fun time because Ember does not have good base armor.
No, he certainly does. Live right now, and minus 8 coming out. They will have to come stack. Paladai now in trouble. Raise 1, raise 2. SCC will get the kill. Nicely done. And going back to Envy 2, he is... I did not think he was suffering this bad in terms of his farm, but his net worth is not really that great. He's just ahead of the safe lane slaughter for KP, you know, and he didn't have the easiest lane either, so this is a bit of a tough time for Envy on the Ember Spirit, but again, he can come back in later on into the game if he can get that recovery farm.
If he doesn't just die here, it's possible that he does. They're smoked up behind KP. Okay, Envy's not going to take the bait.
They have static from too. That would be a huge opening for them. But yeah, Envy's backing up for now. He's just going to pull. However, they're still running in. The sprint will come through. KP now spotted up. Envy. Gross phase is on him. If they decide to dive, he'll be under the tower. They won't go for it. Instead, they'll just kind of clear out the stack and the creep wave as well. And sit behind KP continuously for the time being.
I mean, Envy's not farming anything during this time. He does have a retreat remnant out, but he's... I don't know if they can dive this. This is actually quite difficult.
Yeah. One bad dive, and you turn it around, perhaps even with a black hole, and things can go sour very quickly for NewBee. They're not going to make that play. Level 6s are starting to come out, though. Everybody has level 6 now in the game. You have Paladai with the hook shot ready to go. We've obviously seen the black hole a couple minutes ago. The CM has her level 6, in fact, went for the freezing field as well. So just some big abilities coming out for both sides. Some stack. Paladai's going to get caught again. There's going to be the kinetic field. He does have the range up, and Magic Crystal will come through along with the Boulder Smash. Cogs will come out, but I don't think he's going to survive this. Crystal Nova will come through, but again, too little too late for AUI 2000 as Paladai gets dropped again by positioning error, and Glimpse just magnifies it so much.
I'm really enjoying the way that NewBee are playing this out because they know KP, he can't die to the Ember Spirit. This Ember Spirit didn't have a good start, so not really the craziest burst potential. Okay, MSS gonna get swapped.
Static Storm, Magic Crystal, he's out of it. The kinetic field, Boulder Smash, he might get the kill anyways. He's gonna stick up, but he will not survive. Try turreting. You may be looking for a Malefice or a Black Hole. Can't find it. Remnant coming through. SEC, good usage of that Requiem. Now the huge raise is coming in. Envy, man fighting him as well. The kinetic field, Envy's gonna drop, and now they've got to get out on NP's side. NewBee have not lost anything yet. Raise is coming through from SEC just for good measure on some of these creeps. And it's again 2 kills and 2 giant kills at that as SECC continues to get even more farm on this shadow feed.
That was super unfortunate. Envy, I think he was trying to Remnant after the Requiem so that his Flame Guard didn't immediately just dissipate. But that's kind of exactly what happened. So by the time he got in, he was just stuck in a right-click fight with a level 13 Shadow Fiend with no Flame Guard, and that's just, you know, you're not going to win that. So they're just playing so well around their vision. If you look at the way that NP played the early game, they defend their tier 1 to the death. They know that from the last couple of games NP have been playing, they really enjoy picking a hero that has push potential and is also kind of off the map a lot for MSS, and then they go for the safe lane tier 1 really early on in the game. NewBee just aren't giving it to them. They're sitting down there with their vision, and they're saying, no, you're not going to get the tower. If you keep coming down here, we're just going to keep fighting you. And they're just winning these engages over and over again. So it's getting a little bit troublesome for NP. Kaka going to walk right into Envy here in the meantime.
Should have a Remnant away from NP. He's actually putting a lot of pressure on Kaka. Remnant will come through. Good Boulder Smash onto 2. Kinetic Field. Geomagnetic Grip comes in. Another Remnant. Kaka trying to get away, but Envy walks in front. He'll at least get that kill, and Biolite Die is going to stay alive as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Fox is swapped out. Will get the tower, but now the match is along with the Raze. They secured that kill. So Fata gives his life away for a tier 1 tower, but they should also take this bottom tier 1 tower on top of it. So MP will get 2 tier 1s and a kill on Kaka in the meantime in that top lane.
Radiant's bottom tower
Looks like
has
NP
fallen.
will eventually secure the safe lane tier 1 of Newbee, though. Keep in mind, though, this is a very stark contrast compared to what we saw yesterday, where they were consistently getting that tower at like 8 or 9 minutes. Even when they weren't playing Drow, they were getting that tower super, super early. They love rotating and pressuring the safe lane. So this time around, it's a lot later. MSS is still, you know, doing pretty okay on farm, all things considered. He's almost got his, well, he has enough money for the medallion, and then he'll be able to get the Solar Crest after. I'm guessing this is just for some kind of Roche play, because for the time being, I'm not really seeing another purpose for it. I don't think you're going to really be able to tank up enough to live in this game versus the mass minus armor, so I'm guessing it's just for that specific purpose. Otherwise, you know, Newbee just seemed to be rolling on all cylinders here. It's looking a little bit rough.
Yeah, I mean, SCCC is going to have a BKB within, I don't know, 200 gold or something like that. And then you really have to commit the black hole if you want to kill him, essentially. Or a hookshot cog, something like that. But what do you think about MSS not going for the Midas?
Oh, this could be a big kill. He's so close to BKB.
He needs to get out. Searing Chains to come through. Wraith is coming in, but it's canceled. He will at least get the Clockwork with a Death Requiem, but again, at least he does finish his BKB as he dies. There is that. But, again, Envy getting that huge kill, as you mentioned. Very big turnaround for
Radiant's
Envy
bottom
there.
tower is under attack.
That was actually kind of unfortunate because the Death Requiem just gives him his BKB anyway.
Yeah.
So instead of delaying the BKB, it just gave it to him. Well, it's still a really, really good kill. Like getting the Shadow Fiend down and having Envy there for the death, kind of bringing him back a little bit into the game. He's going for the bots into Blade Mail build. We've been seeing this a lot on Embers. I think it's perfect for this type of game, where you know that you're going to have to be in the fight and you can't really rely on your Flame Guard and Searing Chains to do all of the damage for you. So I think it's one of those games where it's almost the only build he can go.
Fair enough. We'll see. I mean, they have a long way to go, I think, for NP. Despite the net worth advantage being about even, it feels like Newbee are the ones with all the momentum in this game, even though they lose that Shadow Fiend. And we shall see this blink probably coming out from KP as they smoke up. Perhaps not. They clear out the wave. One smoke will break. In the meantime, Fata will hightail it out of there. He glimpses back. He doesn't have a Yule Scepter. Slithering Crest comes through, and he's in some trouble. And there it is, the Static Storm. He'll Yule's himself in time. Do they still go for this kill? It looks like the answer to that question is yes. Shrine will come through. They're going to try to turn this, but LSA does miss. KP and crew are going to hightail it out of there, and they're coming in from the side with the Clockwork. He does have hook shot, but again, this would be a bit aggressive. Now he's going to get jumped on. MSS maybe looking for a black hole. Midnight Pulse drops down. Pilot Eye still pretty tanky. Will hook shot away the Magnus Missile, and of course the Magnetize dropping him down with one more auto attack to get the kill. A lot committed there, but Newbee, again, they get the 1-0 advantage in these team fights.
It's just going to be Roshan here for Newbee. They have everyone. NP realize that they don't want to try to contest without the vision of the flare, and they're just going to go try to push out the lanes. The crazy thing about this is even though, you know, Newbee are making all these great maneuvers, they defended their tower for a long time, the Enigma is just equalizing the net worth and experience advantage just by existing on the map. This is the strength of NP, right? Every single game, MSS just manages to get so much out of his lane for whatever reason. And he keeps the experience and gold extremely close, even in games where it kind of looks like Newbee is just steamrolling.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good at finding that farm, right? He's a couple of good players to learn from in Envy and AUI.
Radiant's
But,
bottom tower is
in
under
the meantime, Envy and KP going toe-to-toe. Slithering Crush forced out, down bottom. Looks like there's going to be 6 TPs in. Fata doing a lot of damage to the tower. Now trying to run. There's the swap back in. Yule Scepter comes through. They need the Frostbite fall. They have the LSA, but now Kaka rolling in. MSS again does have that black hole, but they might need to leave Fata and let him go down. Dragon Slave coming out. Crush now will find MSS. Frostbite coming through. The Static Storm. It looks like they're going to lose 2. The Freezing Field not doing anything. They will have phase and put the pipe up. AUI 2000 trying to get away. Slithering Crush not in time. Magic Missile as well. He will stay alive. AUI somehow avoiding that 3rd death for NP. In the meantime, Envy is pushing top, and he will take the tier 1 tower. But again, losing that big hero in the Enigma as well as the Lina.
The strength of Newbee's lineup right there, just being displayed. Having Glimpse, having the Slardar with the Corrosive Haze vision, you cannot run away. It's like Zeus used to say, you know, can't run from heaven. You can't run from Newbee's team. It's just not going to happen. I think the only hero who has even a small chance of escaping is Ember. And even he can be caught. So it's why I was saying the opening 2 heroes of Newbee just totally counter what NP like to do in their Dota game.
All right. Vitality booster up for Fata. Yeah, it seems like there's not a lot of momentum going NP's way. And finally, this tier 1 tower mid might actually fall. SCCC feels pretty confident to start pushing this tower down. Mugi as well. He's got the early pipe done. Does not go for that Hurricane Pike build, but seems pretty good given the circumstances of what they're against. A lot of magical damage coming out from NP. So that is an excellent pipe choice for Mugi this game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, Bloodstone spots again. He's on his way. MSS, Solar Crest, BKB. That'll be his next choice. Oh, Vato looks like he's dead. Laguna Blade comes out.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't fight that guy. Rough.
There's like this no man's land of vision in the middle of the map. It's kind of weird. Like they have deep wards on the side of NP, but they don't really have anything covering the river. So Fata's kind of just chilling there. You know, it's nighttime. You have restricted vision anyway. And then a couple of heroes just casually walk up and you get blasted. But again, NP all over the place on the map. Always looking for something. Always trying to get some golden experience somewhere. NP's pushing in.
He might die here. Is he actually going to walk out? Glimpse back, Remnants away, but then back in as the Glimpse completes, and I think he's dead. So good attempt there from Envy, but the Glimpse was perfectly timed from Faith that time. That will secure the kill. I was just about to compliment them for finding so much farm on the map, but that death is not going to lead maybe into this tier 1 tower down bottom. They still have the Aegis for SEC. The Frostbite will come through. Find more hookshot coming in from Highlight Eye on the side. They're going to try to fight this. He gets off the BKB in time. LSA not going to be there, and Mugi turning on MSS. He will fall almost instantly. SEC about to go down to Highlight Die. They at least get the Aegis out of this, but that's it for now. Magic is sold. They've already lost in, of course, NBA previously in the last fight, and now they'll lose Highlight Die along with MSS in this other engagement down bottom.
Again,
they're not done.
The funny part was SCCC just BKB'd with Aegis at such a low amount of health, and how confident he was in being able to win that. He's looking for Owie here. Oh my.
Oh, he's so dead. 2 auto attacks and a Slithering Crush. The Laguna Blade will come out. SCCC in some trouble. Series Cage coming through. The Remnant as well. They need this kill. They will find it, but can they get NB out alive? The answer to that question is no. LSA to fly up as well. And Mugi actually avoids the Yule Scepter. Is not timed correctly enough for Vata. Malphus coming out, KP taking a lot of damage. The Solar Crest doing some work as well. 2 auto attacks should do the job. Is he actually going to live? KP getting into the tree line, the Eidolons. Is it enough? They need more. He's actually going to stick up and stay alive. Goes for the TP. He will make it out. They will find Kaka on the Earth Spirit on the other side of the fight, and they keep that tier 1 tower alive. But again, they keep losing these heroes over and over and over again, Draskell.
It's a bit rough that Envy just pretty much died twice in a row. But at the same time, you know, they kill the Shadow Fiend. They get the Aegis off of him, they take him down a second time. Like you mentioned, they were able to keep the tower standing. I think that in of itself is kind of a victory, given the position that NP are in. And they're just, you know, back to farming. Just like nothing ever happened. Just continually hit the creeps, try to get some kind of advantage just by being more efficient on the map.
Alright, so I mean, Newbee have had the advantage in team fights, and I mean, it kills straight up 21-8, and somehow it's only a 3,000 net worth advantage. I mean, what do you just keep kind of putting the pressure on for Newbee and hope at some point this starts turning into a bigger lead? I mean, what do you do here?
I think the main objective is just to always be sure that you're securing Roche, because that's what your lineup does the best. You're very good at catching out heroes, so you get like one quick pick, you get Roche. The next one's going to be Cheese, and then you can potentially look to take the last remaining tier 2 towers, and then even try to hit the tier 3s a little bit, because you have a Shadow Fiend, you have a Vengeful Spirit too with the Damage Aura, and now a Dragonlance on top of that, so you have 2 relatively good sieging heroes. I'd say Shadow Fiend is actually one of the better ones. But for now, I think it's try to hold map control, continue to get your picks. It's been working really well for them. And then just make sure you keep track of Roshan.
Well, we shall see if that's going to be what they can do. Or if NP will start getting some extra farm here. I mean, look at Envy. I mean, he loves going for these plays across the map, just farming and being aggressive, and he feels like he needs to find that farm. And it was successful that time. He's able to get out, and maybe they could take this tier 2 tower. If they can take this tier 2 tower in the safe lane, that's huge. In fact, it's going to be in deny range, and there is a glyph, but they're not using it, and it's just going to get taken down. MSS will get the tower. No defense used at all, and now Envy knows, okay, well, they're missing off the map. I don't know where they are. They will have a couple of wards towards these ancient stacks, but all of a sudden, again, NP continue to find that farm seemingly out of nowhere. Although that time it came from the tier 2 tower down bottom.
Look there.
You can tell Newbee are just... They want kills, but at the same time, they don't want to be full of the map. They might be able to get Highlight Die here.
Fuel's up by Kaka. LSA will come through. They've got the swap out. The Static Storm coming in as well. And looks like Pilot Eye will have to get dropped. But can they find anything else? The Frostbite will come through. Kristen over to fly up as well. The LSA coming out along with the Yules. The Freezing Field. They want Moogie. Can they find him? Good Boulder Smash to stop this. Another Frostbite is available. Magic so they're trying to turn SCCC. Invisible. Throws up the right beam. Now going to turn and fight. Blows up AUI. Envy is low. So too is Fots after the right click from SCCC. He'll head up to the Shrine. He might be able to survive this. He has Yules back in 3. And the BKB down momentarily. Can they blow up this Shadow Feed? It looks like they don't even want to try to turn and fight. Turning around is going to be MSS. He's got Black Hole. Magic Missile comes out in time. KP finds his Slithering Crush. And again, MSS is denied that Black Hole ultimate from NP. And this time they get 4, and they're sure to get a bit more map control here for Newbee.
I can't bet. Like, SCCC did not give up the chase. He just ran at Fata until Fata was almost at the tier 3. I mean, there was no way he was going to kill him, but I guess at the same time, if you're isolating the Lina like that, the rest of your heroes can just dive onto MSS. He's just never really been given an opportunity to get a Black Hole. It's too difficult. The Solar Crest and the drums, they definitely add to the push potential, and they make you marginally more tanky against this minus armor, but there's just so much of it. Like Presence of the Dark Lord, Wave of Terror, then you have the Corrosive Haze on top of that. I don't even know if anyone's bothering to make a Solar Crest because they just have so much of it already. Probably don't even need it.
Right.
It's just a very difficult game to be Enigma. The last pick, Venge, is doing so much work for them because MSS, even with the BKB, he can't really afford to Black Hole anything but the Venge unless Moogie's already dead. And that in of itself makes his job difficult.
Moogie probably, he's died no times in this game, so there's a good chance he will be alive for any fight involving MSS. But you're right, I mean, it's going to be tough for him to find that Black Hole on Moogie himself. But as you mentioned, the BKB is coming out, and that'll make things a bit easier. Not quite yet, though. Again, 5,000, almost 6,000 net worth advantage for Newbee now. They will head up towards the top. They're looking for Envy as he remnants back up towards the top lane. In fact, they continue to ping him, and they'll try to chase. They would like a glimpse from Faith. That would be perfect, but I don't think they'll find it. Blink in, but does not have the vision, unfortunately, as Envy is able to waddle himself away.
They just solo Black Hold. And they're scared. Yeah, they just solo Black Hold.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's a kill. You know, if they can pressure the lane and they can force Newbee back, I would honestly say that that's a moral victory. Because think about this, Roshan's up. If they force Newbee to TP back, they're out of position for Roshan. And then maybe they can kill Roshan. And
like Static Storm, nice.
Gets out that time.
So weird how that worked, but... And I will say this, Strasbourg, it's not like they're using the Black Holes anyways. You might as well use it when you can. That's another thing.
That's true, but you can see NP's game plan. They want to make Newbee TP back. If they TP back, then they can go for an outmaneuver and try to go for Roshan themselves. And then you already have 2 other heroes positioned around trying to cancel TPs just in case they're able to chip the tier 3 down far enough. But NP gonna back now, recognizing that Newbee are in fact moving back over to their side of the map, but they're not gonna TP. Means that Roshan's still out of reach for NP at the moment. It's just gonna be a fight for that, basically. If SCCC gets his hands on another Aegis, it's going to be very hard to win.
You know, I don't know, man. I mean, this Butterfly is going to be huge, but his BKB duration is starting to get a little bit lower. And assuming they can kite him and have Fata use his abilities on him, it could be huge. That's the issue, man. In spite of it all, it is still only 5,000 net worth advantage. It almost feels like I don't want to say they're ratting, but they're just controlling that bottom lane very well. And kind of forcing Newbee back every so often. They've already done 6 damage on the tier 3 tower. Flare does come through, but again, look at the minus armor. It's going to fall so quickly. They cannot get here to contest. Envy's even going to back himself away. They have to give up Roche. So much for that. No contention possible from NP. And the Slithering Crush from KP will not find Envy as he's able to remnant towards this top lane. In the meantime, tier 3 tower getting assaulted. Envy looking to get some TPs. He actually does find Kaka, but everybody else is still getting out of there. KP first and foremost. Now they're going to turn on to Envy. He's going to try to run himself away, but there's the Static Storm, and boy, is he dead. My God. He got blown away.
No living through that one. That's a rip. Nice purchase here, too, on KP, picking up the Shadow Blade. This is a very nice item for those pesky teams that like to sit in side lanes all the time, like NP.
A good point. It's not like they're going to have gem anytime soon, either. Dual Scepter, they're kind of baiting this. LSA to fly through. He does go up the Shadow Blade. They'll jump the Sentry. Malphus comes in. Laguda Blade. KP needs to run. A couple more auto attacks should get the kill. Stick charge is not enough. It's the last tick from Nemesis will do the job.
This is good
SCC
for
pops
NP.
the BKB, and they're going to kite this. Can they turn this around? MSS is just keeping home already. They don't want to go for this. No, he's canceled it. They're going to try to fight this now, it looks like. With Envy down for 10 seconds, can they take this 4 versus 4? Fata, they've got the kinetic field. Here's the BKB. LSA is going to miss, but can they bring Faith down? He didn't even have Static Storm, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get dropped, and now looking for more. Moogie's going to get spotted out. There's going to be the Ulcer. Envy TPing in as well. The LSA comes in, but he gets the force off. Instead, they've got the Searing Chains. They will use them. They want Moogie for the first time in this game, and they will find him. MP on the hunt as well. Envy continuing to remnant forward, looking for more. And will SCCC be able to get back inside the base? It looks like yes, the answer to that question, but he goes in, slide up to Searing Chains. Envy needs to be careful. The rest of his team not quite here yet. Again, it is still an Aegis, along with that newly minted Mask of Madness for the Shadow Fiend and the BKB down for 20 seconds. Are they actually going to get a tier 3 tower out of this? That is insane. NP still down 5,000 net worth, trying to take the first tier 3 of the game, and they might be successful in doing so. Paladai creating space. The Yules pick up through. They really want this tower. Black hole.
Baby.
It's on to 2. Kaka will fall first. They will get the Aegis. NP are turning it around. NP in trouble. KP will grab that kill, but Fata, the machine gun, is coming, and he's doing some serious work. SCCC throws at the right point. It's time to leave. MSS Static Storm comes through and catches him. He will fall. LSA will at least hit on the 1, but SCCC, his BKB now done, but he will continue to chase. The dust is up. He's got the Shadow Blade going, but I think Fata is too fast with Fiery Soul Stacks and AUI 2000. Smartly heads into the tree line and TPs away. They get off a great black hole, which secures the tier 3 tower, and again, we're still in this one at 31 minutes, Straskell.
Whew. Man, that was super good from NP. They kite out the Shadow Fiend, recognizing that if they're trying to go on the Lina, and the Lina has BKB, right? You have 3 stacks of Fiery Soul. That hero just cannot be caught. Your haste speed, like all the time. So they commit super hard, maybe not even realizing that Fata had BKB at that point, because I want to say the first part of that fight, it was a 10-second BKB. Then it came up because the fight lasted so long, and then he BKB'd again.
Yeah.
But the chase into turnaround and then overcommitment from Newbee, NP are so good at those drawn-out fights. They make you think like you're winning the fight, and then as soon as they recognize that they can turn, they just get a huge punish. Getting the tier 3 in that type of situation after not even contesting Roshan, that was an incredible turn for NP.
They've still got a long road for NP, to be sure, and it's not like Newbee are completely out of this game at all. Still a very good, solid start here for Newbee again. Just maybe need to play a bit more crisply as we head into the 32-minute mark. A couple more big items are coming out, as we talked about. Shadow Fiend picking up the Butterfly. BKB is now done for MSS, and the Blink will be next for him. But again, NP are splitting up the lanes. They have to move together as 5 for Newbee to take this tier 1 tower down bottom. And in the meantime, Envy is just splitting top and putting pressure on this tier 2 himself.
You know, all things considered, Newbee still has some pretty scary high ground potential. It's just that NP have been extremely good about being out on the map. Like, they're not afraid to take risks. I think that's probably one of the best attributes of this team, is they go out and they like, okay, we might die here. It's fine. We lose Pylai die a few times, you know, we maybe lose Envy a few times. But as long as something else is happening on the map and you're forcing pressure, that's all that matters. You just have to pressure something to make the enemy team react to you. Otherwise, playing on the back foot against what Newbee have, you just get picked off all the time anyway, and then you're not really getting an objective elsewhere. So even though it looks scary to play against, and I'm sure it is, it's just NP's game plan to out-efficiency the enemy. And it seems to at least for now, be doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it just comes down to the players they have. Obviously, we know AUI's pedigree, we know Envy and Fox's pedigree, but again, MSS really showing that he can keep up with the best of them in terms of getting that farm and finding that pressure. Envy will go ahead and TP. He was almost caught by KP. The smoke's still going, and it looks like NP are, in general, just leaving. They're just like, we're out of here. See you later. And maybe with the exception of Pylai die, he's trying to be aggressive and see if he can spot somebody.
Oh, God. Nice. Okay, he's super dead.
In fact. See you later. I mean, he's staying alive pretty long, I would say that much. Kill's a kill, and SCCC will get it yet again.
Yeah, they have double Solar Crest. I kind of thought he might go for Force, but ends up going for the Solar Crest instead. Lotus would actually be amazing for NP on top of that. Being able to remove things like Amp and the Glimpse for Vision as well. It's really big to deny Vision from a hero like Disruptor because he wants to always be able to see to glimpse and like put you out of position and get kills. So we'll see if anyone's able to eventually get that. But the 10-second BKB on MSS too. So now if they do find that good black hole or they're able to kill Moogie, then there is an opportunity for some more wombo here.
He's dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's almost dead.
Oh, man. Rough stuff. Okay. Some rotations from Newbee have worked out. There was a pretty good point where NP were really getting control of the map and having some vision, and that's not happening anymore, as there's a gem up on Kaka. So, good luck.
That is a really good point, because Newbee were doing a really good job in that early game about having vision, but NP had very deep wards from an early point, which has allowed them to kind of do this, play this hyper-aggressive, it kind of feels like we're just dying in side lanes, but then you look at the lanes and they're not crossing the river. That just seems to be NP's style for the last couple of games that I've seen, but yeah, you are right about the gem. It's going to do a tremendous amount of work.
Makes it a whole lot harder for NP to get this vision that they want. But again, we talked about these big items. They can't find that smoke with a black hole with a blink dagger. You know, I mean, they've got all the time in the world, at least for now. We'll wait and see. I mean, I'm curious to see how this goes. I would imagine Newbee know that some of these items are up for MSS. If they just killed him, they probably could click on his items. See if they get caught unaware. That's the big thing.
I'm sure they don't. It's just a matter of not getting drawn into these super long, chaotic fights that NP seem to thrive in. There are some teams who do not take long fights well. NP is not that team. They are really, really good at drawing out fights. I'd say that's how they like to play the game, to be honest. As Envy once said, if you don't know what's going on, how can the enemy know what's going on?
Yeah, very true. And also, I mean, you talk about these long, drawn-out fights, and I think it gets more so towards the end of the game. It kind of just comes down to what you're fighting with for NP. But for Newbee, again, more big items coming out. We talked about the butterfly for SCCC. Kaka building into the Aghanim sector bottom lane. He'll find any status level coming through. He can stop again. And I mean, this is kind of this is what we talked about. You don't have vision. This is the price you pay when you're pushing these waves out like this. Just getting killed every so often.
It's quite a bit harder, yeah. I think once Fata gets to travel, it'll kind of alleviate itself a bit. Because right now he's lacking the mobility. He's sitting in the lanes with his Bloodstone, you know, he's pushing out as best he can. But without travels, he can't really be on the opposite side of the map fast enough to get the lanes out maybe as far as he would like. So for now, he's just trying to play it safe, because he already has one core dead. You can't really afford to have him and Fata dead at the same time. That's when it becomes a little bit risky, and you run the odds of Newbee walking into you again and then taking objectives, and you know, Roshan's up soon as well.
Yeah, that's the thing too, I was going to say. You know, if they were to lose two there, then that's definitely Roshan. The good news for NP is that Roshan is not up for another 59 seconds, so it's kind of unfortunate for Newbee. They move into that, you know, the 8-minute spawn timer came out. It's like 2 minutes extra or something like that, but... So at least they won't lose Rosh. I mean, I feel like Aegis and Cheese probably do a fair amount for Newbee in terms of pushing and taking fights, so... I don't think... Can NP really contest, though, is the question.
Contesting is going to be tough, but you do have things like hookshot. You know, you can go in, you can midnight pulse, you can hookshot, blink black hole. Sorry about the dogs. They're just awful.
They're barely audible.
Alright, good. But either way, I do think that they have the chance to fight around Roshan. It's just about how the fight goes. Oh man. The Shadow Fiend having a Satanic though, and a cheese? It's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, and that tier 3 tower bottom seems like a moment lost in time for NP, because they haven't gotten much since then. Again, that gem has really started to hurt them. But again, it's going to be Roshan that probably is going to signify the end of things here for Newbee if they want to try to push in and get the Sages and Cheese. See if NP can't find KP as the LSA comes through. They'll find the Frostbite. They have the Gouda Blade as well. There's the swap out. In the meantime, they get the Magnetize off along with the the Boulder Smash as well. MSS comes in with the Black Hole. He doesn't find Moogie, but Swap is already down. Can they kill SCCC? He pops the Cheese, and just like that, it's time to back your NP. Sleight of Fistarian Chase will help onto Moogie. Now the Static Storm coming through, but it's only up onto AUI 2000. Now the Frostbite coming through, and NP, can they turn this? Kaka's low, the hook shot away. Highlight will make it out. It looks like they will back. They've already taken a couple home, including MSS. Now they're going to lose at least AUI 2000. And so again, they force out the Cheese. They force out a BKB or two. But Black Hole is used, and NP don't get anything out of it that time.
Well, I mean, it could have gone worse, I suppose. They only lose a Crystal Maiden. And they force the Cheese out of SCCC. That means the Roshan fight... Oh, man. If Newbee just walked to Roshan, it'd be tough. It looks like they just want to push out mid a bit. They're going to lose their Shadow Fiend here, potentially.
trouble. They need the LSA to fly through, and they'll find it. The Laguna Blade coming out. The Satanic will not save him that time. Dead for 96 seconds. However, we still have a very good Roche lineup. Corrosive Haze along with Wave of Terror. Very strong stuff. Can NP get back home in time to contest this? It doesn't look like they're TPing in now, but it might be too little too late. Roche is already dead. Flare will come through. Moogie will grab the Aegis. Kaka will grab the cheese. However, Spata is chasing after them. Pops the BKB. The LSA comes out, but there's that Manta-style dodge coming in. Forcing himself away. The Shiva's Guard coming out. The hook shots there along with the battery assault with the cogs. Clearing across the counter initiate the static storm. They will get the Aegis, but now Envy is going to get dropped almost certainly, and so too will Pylai die. They even buy back on SCCC. MSS pops the BKB, then gets swapped back. A double kill for the Shadow Fiend as he taunts his way down this mid lane. Newbee looking to take game one here, or at least force a few buybacks as they pressure this tier 3 tower.
He'll probably get the buybacks. He didn't Manta it, by the way. He just missed.
Oh,
he
did
just
he?
missed the stuff. Yeah.
That's,
It was. I like that you take the high road route, though. You know, you give him the credit. You're
you gotta,
like, man,
you gotta, when they're pro
He's a
players, you gotta
player.
give them the benefit of the doubt, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, this is getting dangerous. Spata in trouble. Forced away. They've got the shrine. Need to be careful. Slight Eviscerate chains coming out, but they will take the tier 3 tower. Can now the Newbie escape without losing anything? And it looks like the answer to that question is yes. Absolutely. They're gone. See you later.
Tower secured. Time to get some shrines. They've built a pretty significant advantage off of that whole exchange. At first, I thought that NP would just immediately TP back to their shrine because they killed the Shadow Fiend. Like, killing the Shadow Fiend in that situation when you know that Roshan is up, they did TP, but they didn't seem like they had enough, I guess, what's the word? I don't know, they just weren't fast enough of walking over there. And if they had gone over there, maybe they forced, you know, SCCC to buy back and they win that fight. Who knows? But for now, they're going for a smoke play. The lanes are quite out for NP. Like, they're almost to the base in mid and bottom, so...
Right. It doesn't feel like a fight that NP just lost. I mean, look at where they are, especially mid and green. And all of a sudden, Newbie playing from the back foot. Well, at least in terms of the lane positioning. Numbers-wise, they are pretty far and away ahead. 11,000 net worth. All right, then. Ugh. NP holding on for dear life. It feels like they lose one more team fight, and that could be it. The Shadow Fiend continues to become a monster as he has yet another cheese on top of him. Satanic Butterfly working on now the Bloodthorn, as if he needed that.
It's a good item. I think it's one that you almost always buy on a late game Shadow Fiend, just because it gives you so much utility. You get the mana regen, you have the sustain of the Satanic as well on top of that. It just kind of fixes a lot of the problems that he does have. And if you're going to keep your hands on the Shadow Blade, and then you have a Bloodthorn on top of that, it also gives you solo kill potential inside lanes on heroes that don't have a Dispel, which is also kind of terrifying for like support heroes, for example. But yeah, it's a really nice Shadow Fiend item. And NP are still just doing what they can to hold map position. Over time, though, I think that Newbee are going to be feeling a bit confident here and might just go for a play. Yeah, they're just going to smoke up right now.
As you say it, and they smoke up.
Money to burn.
And AUI 2000 senses something is wrong. He immediately backs himself out of the lane. They do drop a Radiant Observer Ward in the meantime. Highlight that would be a nice little pick. Of course, I think the biggest one would be one of the cores, but 4 or 5, man. Rough. Jesus, write it down.
At the same time, like, you see stuff like that, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure he knows he's gonna die there. That's the difference, right? It's one thing to be on a part of the map where you die and you're a core and you don't have buyout. That's a bad death. But when you are anticipating an enemy movement and the rest of your team is already back, Pai's just sitting there to tank the smoke. Like, that's the purpose of him dying, is so that the smoke doesn't kill a more important hero. Speaking of that hero.
And we saw them move through that freaking ward, and he's going to get ganked by it as they have the Aghanim Scepter Static Storm from Faith. He is dead for 97 seconds. He already used his buyback, I believe, and he also just bought the Octarine Core for good measure anyways, so I don't know if that's game, but it sure doesn't feel very good here for NP, I would say.
They're just kind of in this mode where they want to push lanes really hard. Shata gonna BKB? Oh, he doesn't have plots. He's committed to this.
Oh my god, MSS gets blown away by Moogie. The swap out, Kaka will fall, but now Fata in trouble. The bashes are there, the auto attacks going to work. Dead for 35 seconds on Lena because of the Bloodstone, 67 for MSS without buyback. In the meantime, pushing top is going to be the CM, but again, it looks like this game one is starting to dwindle in favor of Newbee here.
It's alright. The split pushing CM mod. Here it comes. Oh, he's actually not.
Does she have the damage talent? Oh, yes. AUI 2000 has the Kobold Foreman and the plus 60 damage
There's
talent.
no way, dude. SCCC will just annihilate him.
I know. I'm being optimistic, but...
I like
AUI
your
2000
optimism, mod. I'm a fan.
Appreciate it, buddy. You gotta be.
Dyer's middle
Go to games like
barracks
this.
are under attack.
All right, well, here we go. The push mid coming in from Mugi, and again, 28 seconds for pretty much both of these heroes. In the meantime, top lane, Shadow Fiend going to get caught by an LSA. I don't know if they can get this kill. The Sheep's Guard will come through. Will pop the BKB. Satanic was used as well, not to mention he also has Chi, so good luck killing him. He's kind of just keeping Klata at bay. He's doing whatever he can. LSA coming out. There's the Chi. The freezing field to follow up as well. It's a lot of damage, but as ZOTAC going to work, his bots are just getting right-click down. Another stun to come through. There's going to be the Dragon Slave. A couple more auto attacks. They'll get the kill. Meanwhile, mid lane, they'll find another pick up there. It's going to be Pilot Eye getting caught by Mugi. So at least they stopped the pressure on the ranged racks. I mean, it's something.
Dude, I mean, they lose the melee, but at the same time, there's no buyback on the Shadow Fiend for 100 seconds. Everyone on the side of NP is going to be alive. They have Black Hole, that the Taskmaster that they used, or the Foreman, whatever the heck it's called, the
Foreman,
Kobold.
dude.
He just TP'd in and he just blasted SCCC. They were not expecting that.
It does sound like it would be a Taskmaster. At least he looks like it. He's got the Pimp Cup and the whip, too. Seems like a Taskmaster would be
Yeah, he's got a whip,
name.
right?
Yeah.
He's just living the life, but...
When I think of Taskmaster, I think of whip. You're right, buddy. But it is the Foreman.
Damage empowers me.
And, yeah, as you mentioned, they don't have the SF for 66 seconds, but they still do a ton of damage. I mean, what do you do here if you're MP? You can't really just sit back and farm, right? Or can you?
Well, they're making moves on the map. They're not just... Them killing SCCC in the first place is a huge... It opens up the map. Like, look at the lanes again. Top's going to be pushing, mid's pushing, bottom is pushing in favor of Newbee, but they have heroes and bots. They've already taken the shrines, so they, for what seems like the next couple of minutes at least, they're going to have a little bit of map control on their side. One melee racks is not really the end of Dota. And to be honest, they're down, what, 24 kills? And the 12k net worth lead doesn't really seem like a ton. It's only 1 or 2 fights. The shorter BKBs get as well, you also have to remember that MP's lineup is going to become more and more scary. Because that means Afata is going to have more influence in the fights, so will Envy. And then the Blink Black Hole. We've only really seen like 1 or 2 of them this game that really got channeled for any duration whatsoever.
Right.
But it really only takes 1 or 2 of them at the end game to really kind of seal it. Just depends on if he can find the Black Hole.
Yeah, I mean, it is. They have the potential to come back. MSS can certainly do this. And they also got rid of the cheese on the Shadow Fiend, so SCCC is a little bit easier to deal with. MKB-wise, I don't believe they have one to deal with this Butterfly at any point in the future, so that's something to consider. But again, they already have a lot of magical burst damage to begin with, so... Okay, I mean, maybe we'll wait for the next Roche, as it could respawn in the next 3 seconds. I imagine it'll be longer, though, so... We'll see.
Look at this. Look at Pilot Eye, man. He's got a Tinker Ward. And he's just sitting over here waiting for someone to potentially come and gank MSS or go for, like, the side lane push. You know, this is how they get back into the game, though. This is how they did it the last time. This is how they kill SCCC. They did the same thing.
It's pretty much the exact same thing, except I don't think they had a Tinker Ward. I think they just had Fox running in there. And he looks like he's coming top. He might take the bait yet again. Maybe not. He's sitting back now. He's like, okay, maybe I'll wait for my team this time. I don't want to get caught again. Not do it a second time in a row.
Well, they don't really have any... They have vision bottom, but they don't have a whole lot of vision past that little hill on top. And that's the danger zone mod. That's what we like to call it.
It surely is. All right. Then into the nitty-gritty. 48 minutes. What are the big items that we haven't talked about yet? There's something that just came out. KP's Assault Cuirass is the big one. Scan comes through, by the way. If they find this ward, it would be pretty amazing. But I don't think they will do. They're already out of there.
Well, they placed their own Tinker Ward on the side of Newbee, so if they're thinking about doing kind of stuff like that, then there's no reason to not look for a D Ward if you have the chance. I'm just not sure if they're interested in walking to that lane unless they're going to be going for Roche or something like that. Which is going to be up, like, now, pretty much.
Yep, 1 second. Game is getting silly, man, let me tell you. For what was a pretty close game early on, it's starting to hit that late stage of the game where it's getting a little silly. And by the way, this Roche will die again so quickly.
Oh, it's just mega dead.
So, one more time, how do you deal with that? Good luck. He has at least Aegis this time. Cheese was picked up, I believe, for the Vengeful Spirit, I would assume it is. And more split pushing from NP, because that's how they're going to get back into this game. And now, probably wait 5 more minutes, too, because you can't kill SCC twice. Oh, God, settle in, Andy.
Well, this is kind of what you have to expect, though, because this is the style of Dota that NP like to play. They're not really a big fan of, like, 5-man Dota. They just like to either outnumber their opponents or just force you out of position and then take fights. Yeah. It's why it seemed like in the past when they were known as, you know, Cloud9 minus MSS and plus Bone7, that their games usually devolved into stuff like this. It's because this is how they like to play.
Yeah. All right. You got a Radiance at least on Ember. Something. We're getting there. We are getting to that late game situation. But you're right, though. This is just their play style. And I will say, in the past couple of games they've played, and even in this game, it's worked out pretty well. A game that could have been a lot worse earlier on, and probably they could have lost way earlier had they not really positioned themselves in such a way that they were able to take farm in different lanes. They've done a good job. However, as CCC is coming in, and NB might be the one to get caught blinking, you will have to come through the bullet defense club, as well as the static from to set it all up, and NB is mega dead. And he just fought that raid. So, no buyback for 95 seconds. He is dead in the dirt.
How much time does Newbee have to do something is the real question. I mean, they'll assuredly be able to push out one lane, but can they push out all of them? Come on. That is the question. Like, look at how NP move, man. Like, as soon as Envy's dead, there's 2 heroes top, 2 heroes mid. They're just like, yep, just freaking shove the creeps. And honestly, even with as mobile as Newbee are, they're having a hard time keeping up.
That is true. However, MSS is back to be caught. Shadowbladed. Slithering Crush, my God.
Okay.
2-shot him.
He has buyback, so.
Well, that's good. He could get 2-shot again.
He's gonna need it.
Middle barracks are under attack.
And they're just chewing through backdoor protection. And you know what? He's strong enough to do so. NP have to fight. They've got to do something. They're going to lose 2 sets of racks unless they will find an engagement. The Orchid is done for SCCC. It's not a full Bloodthorn yet, but guess what? They will get the full set of racks bottom. And now they're going to head right towards top with Envy dead for another 33 seconds. It's kind of been a slow and painful death for NP, and they might finally be put out of the misery. KP will miss the Slithering Crush. Hook shot on the back end of the fight. They're looking for Kaka. Static's supposed to come through. It is going to miss along with Kinetic Field. Now this is doing a blade coming in. Kaka's going to yield himself up in the air. Twilight Eye somehow still alive. MSS finds the black hole, but it's on to Boogie, and there is absolutely no follow-up damage, and MSS gets to shoot down yet again. And that should be it, I would imagine, although NV is back up in 6 seconds. Still looking for more. They're going to try to find Fata this time around, but getting crushed by KP, both literally and figuratively. He will buy back into the game. And we're getting to that point here, Draskell. It looks like this should be the end, but Envy does come back in. Moogie will get caught beside of his Searing Chains. Alisane will come through as well, but Yule Center is going to be up on Fata. Chief is going to come through. Ashley saw to head up as well. KP will find the Slithering Crush, and can they bring him down the freezing field? Silence comes out immediately, and it's just going to be full megas, and Envy trying to man fight. He will remnant himself back into the well. Fata and Envy doing all that they can, but again, Newbee will take the megas. Slithering Crush will come through. They will Laguna downstage, but already blown away is Fata for the 2nd time, and Envy might be dead yet again. So GG is called. Newbee will take game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Outstanding performance from them, and NP, they did their damnedest to keep this game even in Draskell, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Newbee are just super good Dota players. Who would have thought? But their opening I really love. I think the Slardar Disruptor combo is something that NP are going to have to look at in the next game and kind of think about how they want to deal with it. Because the support clock, like Pylai Dai, he had a couple of nice plays, but you couldn't really feel his influence in the game, right? There weren't a lot of situations where I looked at the support clock and I was like, this hero's doing a ton. And the same for MSS, to be honest. Sure, he had farm, but he couldn't really black hole anything because of the Venge pick. Really kind of put him into a corner.